Hey everybody, hope you're having a good day. So I'm Sabrina and I'm going to be going over aging and eating and the natural process that of aging that kind of interferes with appetite. So just as an introduction, we are all part of the healthcare industry, if you're a dietetic student, and the conversation about eating in older or end of life stages is very common. However, not every company or industry emphasizes the autonomy of the patient or the client, which includes meal choices. And we see that a lot in hospital settings where we want clients or patients to follow a specific diet, and we push that on them. But sometimes it's, completely up to them. And so they sometimes choose not to follow that. And for older and end of life stages, especially with aging, it can really help their overall nutritional status and their mental well being. And I'll touch base on that further in the presentation. So I really like this quote. It's from a study that was conducted in 2015 that looked at how appetite changes as you age. And it kind of separated appetite into three different components that I really didn't look at. So appetite is a desire to fulfill a bodily need and can be divided into three components: hunger, satiation, and satiety. So hunger is a sensation that promotes food consumption. So that's what our brain triggers our body to think, oh, we're really hungry. And that's what happens when you see something that's delicious. Satiation, I hope I'm saying that right, but it's a sensation of fullness during eating that leads to meal termination. Now, I always thought that that was satiety, but satiation is really you leading to not needing to eat anymore, that feeling of fullness. And then satiety is feeling full in between those meals, and usually that ties back into hunger, where when you're no longer satisfied or there's no longer any satiety, you're hungry again. So this is the natural process of eating and ways it's affected appetite in both hunger, satiation, and satiety. Ta-da! That's my favorite slide. So appetite changes a lot with age. 15 to 30% of elderly individuals are estimated to have a decrease in appetite naturally. Now, a third of those people experience a reduction in appetite because they don't have enough saliva production. And that's usually caused by medication side effects. And we also have hormonal changes as we age, particularly with women when we go through menopause. There's a lot of different hormonal imbalances that are occurring that can affect the appetite. The amount that we eat, as we age, we have early satiety. So that usually means that we don't need as much food or we don't need as frequent of meals. We have a natural decrease and rate in metabolism, so it takes us longer to break down foods, leading to that greater span of time in between meals. And we also need less calories or energy because of our slowing of the digestive system. So we really don't need that much to eat. Now, the social aspect I thought was really important because although we are used to thinking of food as our main fuel source, it actually ties in a lot of different aspects of our life. So the social aspect. Social connection becomes more important with age. Studies have shown that there's a huge increase in depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem when you age. So the social aspect of food in general and of appetite really becomes more important. And I like to always tie in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which I'll touch base in a little bit. But I really like how food and every aspect of the hierarchy of needs really connects. And then elderly individuals crave social interaction, and they usually have limited or decreased access to independent activities with their changes in physical status, their financial status, their social status, a lot of it changes. And so that can also cause some dysregulation. Along with that, mental health, like I touched on before, changes in routine, location, social contacts, and finances. That can not only alter your mental health, but your meal patterns and your choices. If you become more stressed, you're more likely to crave fast sugars or simple sugars because that's what your body needs to burn this fuel, to burn that anxiety. You want that type of satisfaction. Now, science also shows that there's a spike in endorphins when you enjoy foods, when you eat foods that you enjoy. And, don't quote this, don't quote this from me, but, it's either French fries or carrots. Those can both release endorphins in your body and make you feel happy. So eating the foods you love makes you happier. And I think sometimes in certain situations, as people age, there's more emphasis on what they're eating instead of what they're enjoying. And I think that's a huge component that should be talked about, especially as we notice all these changes, their social, their appetite, their mental health, all of that, and combined, let them enjoy things that they like. Now, along with that, regulation. So with the emotional and physical regulation, comfort eating is common. It's very common. And on top of that, not only does it make you happy, but 95% of the serotonin, which is a neurotransmitter that regulates sleep and appetite, is produced by your GI tract. So eating well and also enjoying foods that you love really helps regulate your overall health and wellness. So this is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the one that I was so excited to talk about. So at the base, I'm sure we've all seen this before. It's pretty common. I think a lot of people know what it is, but it basically goes, in levels of needs. So basic needs, food, water, food always touches on that, right? Food, water, clothes, shelter, it's a basic need. Now there's safety, security, employment, money, resources. Food also touches on that. We think of food insecurity, thinking of food as a resource, which is sometimes not as common as we think, unfortunately. And then we have the social aspect, love, belonging, intimacy. Those are all things that can describe food as well. Esteem, confidence, respect, status. We always see respect and confidence when we are looking at the independent nature of people. We like to be independent. We like to be able to feed ourselves, to choose the foods we like. So there's that self-esteem, and also status. The types of food you eat can also correspond with your status in terms of society and how it kind of describes the foods that you eat. And then the kind of the bigger, broader self-actualization. That's what everyone's trying to reach in life, and that is creativity, living your best life, morality, and fulfillment. And those, again, are all things that food can describe. So we think of creativity, whether that's your grandmother passing down one of your family's nostalgic recipes, or it's a chef that's cooking up something delicious. I always think of Ratatouille when he eats the grapes and the cheese. And those are all something that can touch with food. So with all the appetite changes that come with aging and how it affects how people are eating, this hits more than just their nutritional status. This hits everything that can contribute to living a healthy and fulfilled life. So just something to keep in mind. So the areas of focus, if you were to take nothing away from this presentation at all, these are the things that I really want you to focus on, especially with my research indicating that there are more prevalent issues that correspond with food and insecurity, and how appetite changes doesn't always indicate a problem, but it just is something that needs to be adapted and discussed. So food plays a larger role than just nutrition. It meets a lot of needs, like physiological, emotional, and social needs. And it also helps you feel happy. I don't know about you guys, but I love eating food. I love eating different kinds of food, and I love the social aspect of it. It's really awesome. And then interactions surrounding food govern healthy relationships. So you always see the two people sharing food at a diner, and it really means something. And as appetite changes as we age, we may not eat as much, but we also crave that social aspect still. And like I said before, appetite may not always indicate a problem. So there's a huge natural decrease in appetite, metabolism, GI function, and overall intake as we age. Those are all things that are normal, and it may not indicate an issue. And there's also a decreased need for energy as we age. That's because of slow digestion. So it's very common for us to not eat as much, not crave as much, and really not feel like we need frequent meals as much as sometimes 3 meals a day. I don't know about you, but sometimes I'd interact with patients or clients and they don't eat breakfast, or they'd only eat 2 meals a day. And sometimes I'd catch myself thinking, oh my gosh, they need to eat more. They're not eating enough. It's not enough. But in hindsight, and now doing the research that I have, the social and other aspects of food are still being met. It's just not meeting what my understanding of what they needed at the time. So they may not need 3 meals a day. Maybe only 2, maybe only 1 big one. It depends on how they're feeling in their process, and also taking into consideration the natural changes that happen as we age. So these are some of the solutions that I came up with when talking about these in situations with patients or clients. They might notice some changes that are happening that are natural, like I mentioned, but also very difficult, and something that they should learn more about because it's sometimes hard to navigate. So the first solution is under the category of autonomy, allowing participants, patients to choose what they want to eat and change the meals to fit their comfort level, even if you don't believe they're eating enough, because it's what's best for them and they know them best. And also promote food choices that they enjoy. Allow them to have a cupcake and understand that sometimes that's the highlight of their day. And then validation. So understanding that this is really difficult, and sometimes it's even more difficult for the people who are caring for them, yourself or family members. So just making sure that they feel validated, and even the participant, patient, client, making sure that it's okay if they want to eat a certain way, as long as it's not posing an immediate health risk to them. And then socialization, that's a hard word, but cultivating experiences surrounding social aspects of eating. So family style dinner and interactions, going out to eat with your family members, having that social aspect, although maybe it not be 3 meals a day, but capitalizing on those times when they're able to interact with others that are surrounding food, because that hits the basic needs and also goes up to the hierarchy of needs. So food plays a huge role in our lives and participants, patients, clients' overall health and wellness. I'm sure we've all known that. But the major point of my presentation and what my scientific research has shown is that allowing aging individuals to make their own choices surrounding food will better optimize their intake overall, because it's natural for them to not eat as much, and it's more common for them to crave the social interactions that involve food. So just making sure that the relationship with food is happy and healthy and they're enjoying themselves, that's the overall major point in terms of aging and eating. So I look forward to hearing all of your questions. And hopefully I can answer all of them. But I'm really excited, and I really appreciate you guys listening to hearing me ramble. I was really excited to do this topic. It really interested me and actually really changed my viewpoint on a couple things. So that's all I that's all I gotta say. That's all I have for today. Thanks again for listening, and I really look forward to hearing your discussions and your questions, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can with those answers. Thanks, guys.